Let's just go to Godox channel, double check. I think we are live now. Yep.
Yep, we're live.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Let me just, do you want to quickly share? Share now. Okay, all good to go.
All good to go.
Yeah. All right. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Godox Education Facebook Live. Today, we have the honor to invite Ky Luu, who's the richest wedding photographer in Adelaide, if not the most successful one.
No.
I think it was AIPP, Australian Institute of Professional Photography. He took out the state winner 6 times out of 8 years, if I don't make any mistake, and he was also one of the national champion once. So he was very successful academic-wise. And also, guys, you should check out his mansion. When I was referring his mansion, not his house. So yeah, man, he runs a very good business, has a very good life down there, and also he
that's all smoke and mirrors.
He took out all the luxury weddings, right?
Yeah, whatever.
While everybody's shooting elopement, he was like, you know, I have to wait until my wedding return back to 500 sort of limits in order for those weddings to go on. So yeah, he runs a very successful wedding business. So today we are honored to invite him to share some of his techniques with his photo shoots outdoors with 8300. And yeah, it's kind of cool. Thanks hello everyone. No worries. So lots of people said hi and
Hi everybody.
Hello, stranger.
Hi, Ashley.
All right. So without further ado, and do you want, if there's anything you want to talk about, or we should run into the introduction video? Or
I can talk a bit about what this shoot is about to start with, if you like. Yeah. So
cool. Go ahead.
So besides mainly doing weddings, I do commercial, I do family photos. I do a bit of commercial hotel work as well, but my passion's always been in the world of wedding. The only reason why I'm so interested and keep coming back to wedding is weddings always so unexpected. Like there's I've probably done over 600 weddings in my 9-10 years, and I still, even today, I still feel nervous going to a wedding, like photographing a wedding, because what happens on a wedding is unpredictable. There's always something that you can't predict. I remember this one time I was shooting a wedding and the celebrant was like 2-3 hours late, and that kills all the location time. So that kind of rush, that kind of unpredictable and something that you can't predict really excite me about wedding, and that's why I like doing weddings so much. But initially, I wanted to use this live to showcase more of my wedding work, but because of COVID, I haven't shot a wedding since the middle of March. So this shoot with the famous designer, her company name is Varacalli Couture. This was actually my first shoot in how many months? Probably 5-6 months. So in a way, it was kind of exciting, but you know, I was a bit rusty as well. So, but we had a fantastic time. The shoot was only meant to go for around an hour and a half, but after having lunch, after delays, the shoot ended up to be closer to around 2.5 hours. But we were quite happy with the result. So if you like, we can go to the first video where I'll show you where we are, and I'll explain to you guys what equipment we use for the shoot.
Yeah, sure. Before we get started in 5 seconds, just so you guys know that if you haven't shoot with Ky Luu, I did. He's one of the fastest running down on the street. I was like, the way he does 2 lights or 3 lights on a wedding day was amazing. So if you haven't checked out his full wedding day lighting with Ky Luu, it is on Godox YouTube channel as well as Facebook. You guys should definitely check it out. He was the fastest running guy, I tell ya.
It was always exaggerate. Yeah. Yes, don't believe him.
No, I'm not exaggerate anything. All right, let's get started. And you want talk any, say anything you want to. Yeah.
So we actually found this location in the middle of a suburb. As you can see, is the video lagging a bit? Oh, it's better now. And then behind the suburb, there's all this beautiful little forest. This is called a Blackwood Forest. It's quite close to town, probably around 20 minutes. And that's why I chose this location, because of the convenience. So is the volume working, Eric?
Yep, it's just let me try to boost the volume up.
Yep.
Can you hear the Ky Luu, can you hear the
No, I can't
audio?
hear anything.
Okay, let me try it. Let me try again. All right.
Yep. So good.
Yeah, there is a little share audio I'm struggling with every time.
Double check.
What?
Can you hear now?
It's very important.
Yep. Yep. It's good now.
Okay.
Today is the Sony 7R3, and what lens I have on here is the 2470 lens f2.8. So
Can everybody in the live world hear the video okay? If not, I can voice over what I'm actually doing.
Sigma.
It's kind of smaller than your. No, it's no. You're not soft, man. You're hardcore. It's it's kind of
On top of that, we've been using a number
small than your voice audio now. So
okay, that's good then.
System because
but we still can hear you. I think.
Yeah.
So we got the V1 here. We also have the 8200 Pro, the extremely new Godox 8300 Pro, and the 8400 Pro. So we've got these here. So the amazing light we're using is from Godox today. We have the V1, which is the lowest.
That's awesome. Thanks, Kristen, that you can hear the voice.
To my shoe mount, which is very handy at times. We also have the 8200 Pro, which is 200 watts power. The 8300 Pro, which is 300 watts power. This is the newest in the family, and as you can see, it's actually it's 100 watts more power, but it's actually the size is actually shorter than the 8200, but slightly fatter. So
slightly fatter.
A really good size. And you compare this to my.
Come on, everybody understand the word fatter.
Lens is pretty much almost
no, I do.
In size, which is amazing for the power it has. And then I got a big guy here, which is the 8400 Pro. I think I'm mainly going to use the 8400 Pro today for backlighting because it has more power, and I can use it to pretend, because today is quite an overcast day. I can use it to pretend there's actually sunlight coming through the forest. But mainly today, I might be using the 8300 Pro for lighting my model today. All right, guys, this is an amazing model for today.
So our designer is still hiding at the back.
From our beautiful designer who's hiding behind the bum and wouldn't show her face because she said she looked awful, but I think she looked amazing. Her name's Katerina, and her label is one of the best in the world. Varacalli Couture. Check out Instagram account here. All right, go check it out. You need to look at her amazing work. And look at the dress. I think my life's going to be super easy today. We've got a stunning model and an amazing dress. I just need to click the shutter and I'm done.
So
all right, that's it, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, in summary, I was pretty much I was pretty excited because I can fit all the Godox light I need to use all in one bag, and that's just a small shoulder bag. So that included the V1, the 8200 Pro, 8300 Pro, and the 8400 Pro, all in a bag. So for a location photographer like myself, that is a massive advantage because you know, I don't have to carry too much heavy gear. And in terms of the camera, the Sony is amazing too. It's nice and small, and for that shoot, I needed 3 lenses, which is the 24-70, the 135 GM, and the Sigma 14mm 1.8. On the day of the shoot, I actually shot most of my images using 24-70, and it was quite handy in that regard. What location is this? So this location is located.
Is that your backyard? You recently the house, the mansion you recently purchased?
That's actually one of my many properties. Yeah. The location is located in Australia, in a state, South Australia, in Adelaide, and it's a suburb called Blackwood Forest, which is only around 20 minutes from town. Which is good. So the good thing about Adelaide is there's not much traffic, and a lot of location actually quite close. So which is great. Yep, keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So in summary, I was able to fit all my camera gear and lens in one bag, one shoulder bag, and all the light from Godox in another shoulder bag, and which was really handy.
Yeah.
So. If you like, we can go to our first location, and
yeah, sure.
I can explain to you what was done with the first image.
Sure. Let me just quickly address that question. Yes. You just need to purchase a Fuji trigger in order to make it work for GFX.
That's right.
Yeah, no worries. Let's go. All right, let's run into the next. Next. This one.
Yep. So this is our first location. It's actually someone's backyard. I'll explain to you why we choose this location later.
Someone's backyard or?
My backyard. Sorry, my backyard.
Yeah.
All right, guys, our first location.
Oh man.
You like my backyard?
No. Ashley was referring to this as a great location. I was like, this is someone's backyard, literally.
Literally someone's backyard.
So we're just mainly going to angle it in a way where we can't see any of the backyard.
You can see the basketball ring at the back.
Let's see how we go. All right. So you can talk.
I think it's going to rain. I was just about to say I felt a couple of drops.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So you're numb already?
No. Pretty much, I'm numb.
You're numb.
But I'm not shivering, so that's good. That's a good sign.
Oh, yeah, I can feel that.
You can match the dress. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are.
First shot, guys, we have Isabella on the chair to make her a bit closer to the tree, because we don't want any of the bottom bit of the tree, because that way we can see the backyard, and that's not very nice. No offense to the owner. The light we're going to use up here is the 8300 Pro on the 80S85W softbox. And my setting for this shot, I think I'm going to start it with, I always shoot manual power because I have better control that way. So I'm starting the power on 1/8 for the power. And I'm going to start off with speed 160, f5.6, and ISO 500. We'll see how we go with that.
Oh man, lots of details. I always struggling to remember my settings. Was I?
I'm using this video to remind myself what my setting is. I don't remember too.
Oh gosh, that's what happens if you have 2 kids. You don't have enough sleep.
Watch that. Yeah, I know. Lucky. Yeah, you told me after I've noticed it, but that's okay.
I need to pick up.
So I'm using the designer to help me with the dress there.
Guys, that was
She's not my
that was
assistant.
good, but I feel
Oh
the
my
image
God.
was a bit too bright.
She's actually my boss in this
I feel
case.
the image was a bit too bright. So what I'm actually going to do now, I'm just going to increase the speed to 200 and see what that looks like. Okay. Okay,
Why ISO 500,
oh,
Andy? Because I want to use a high aperture
Yeah. Bleep, yeah.
to get more details from the back of the tree.
we're in the channel.
Not really.
Well, we're doing it now anyway. I might do one more.
How cold was it?
Like, guys.
Huh?
How cold was it, mate?
It's pretty cold. That jacket I'm wearing is like it's like a really warm jacket.
So I'm going to do one
Oh
more,
my gosh.
and hopefully
in the
this
video, it
time
looks
I
like
want to
garbage
see
bag.
if I can see the whole dress without partially being cut off.
Yeah, that'll do.
Got the boss approval. All right, this time I'm going to stand a bit more and get the whole dress. Ready?
Sorry,
They're running away.
no, I always love, like, I always enjoy working with you. Like, you, myself, it's just so funny. You're a funny man.
Yes, that's correct. Because of COVID, Christian, we can't shoot any wedding yet. That's why I was starting to shoot more commercial work, and this is a commercial job for a very famous designer in Adelaide.
Make sure there's a little bit of a curve in the middle, guys. Yeah, yeah, like that. Yeah. Come out a little bit more, Katerina.
Oh, how dare you, Ky, talk to your strainer, your designer, ask for a curvy dress.
Yeah, so
man.
so the designer's actually helping me find the dress right now.
You are going to lose your sponsor.
I don't think she's gonna hire me
Talking
again.
like that, if you didn't nail the shot, mate. Oh, geez.
Oh, gee. So that was the power setting on the back of the AD300, 1/8. And I don't know if you guys see there's too much reflection that day, but I'll show you what the photo looked like later.
All right.
So
Cool.
one of the brief from the designer is in the early day of the talk is she wanted some flowers in her photos with the dress. But being winter in Australia at the moment, finding flowers is hard. So that yellow tree was pretty much the only tree I can find with some kind of flower, but it happens to be at the back of someone's backyard with a basketball ring and all this random stuff there. So, which is fine. And this is the sort of situation you'll always come across, especially on a wedding day where a couple might want a particular location and then there's a lot of distraction in the background. When it comes to situation like that, I would always, try to find the beautiful part of the location. In this case, shooting upward is the best way. Shooting upward, you get rid of all the stuff in the background and all you see is mainly the tree. Initially, I was planning to use a wide angle for this so that I can see, so that I can see more of the dress and more of the tree and everything to make the dress look bigger and everything. But later on, I changed my mind because with a wide angle, I actually see more of the backyard. So instead, I decided to use the 2470 in the shot. And I got the bride, not the bride, I got the model standing on the chair so that when I shoot, when I use my camera, I can tilt the angle up even higher and to try to avoid everything in the background. So this is what the image looked like.
All right. Do you want me to?
It's better to get it from your side, I reckon.
Okay. The raw or the image? The raw.
Yeah, show the raw.
Show the raw. Okay. Can you see it? All right. Since we're talking, do you want to answer a few questions?
Yep, I can do that.
Yep.
Why do you use straight main light, not angular light 45 degree or 60 degree? Oh, you mean where the light's positioning?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted, in this case, I wanted my shadow to be a bit more to the side of her face. You can see there's a bit of shadow there, creating, and I wanted to artificially produce an image that's a bit more believable that the sun's coming from the right hand side. So that's why the softbox was angled that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
So it's a bit of both. So thankfully, most of my clients allow me to give me full creative freedom. They might but in return, I ask them, what sort of location you want, what is your idea for this collection, and then I'll try to find something. I'll try to find locations that meet the brief. In this case, the designer did mention she wanted some flowers in the shot. So this is the closest I can find with flowers. But I don't just give her one photo. I give her a collection of photos, which you guys will see later on. And in there will be a combination of photos that ideas that I have, and also a brief that the designer want to showcase the dress in certain way and certain details. So it's a bit of both.
cool. Do you do you want me to show the finished image or?
Yep. So so this is the original image. So if the model wasn't standing on a chair, I wouldn't be able to get that right angle. So what I've done in the final image is to change the color. For some reason, I really hate the color green. And I was like, when I see green, I always like to change it to purple, pink, red, whatever. So so I really want to showcase the yellow flower, if you call this flower, and really make that pop. And that's why I decided to go with this finish.
Yeah.
In the next
I
image,
think that's yeah. Go ahead.
keep going.
No, I think it's
Mhm.
a great raw image, right? It's like a
Mm.
nice piece of salmon. You cut down a nice piece of salmon with your lighting, right? Because lighting is perfect, the dress is perfect, and then it's just your personal taste. If you want to cook it as a
Correct.
sashimi, or if you want to cook it as a smoked salmon, right? But you have to have a good image to start with.
Yep.
That's very important.
That's precisely right. Yeah. So this is subject to interpretation. Some people might like the green. Some people might like the original color. But for me, I always like to change my image a bit, make it a bit more fantasy or in this regard. And in the next photo, I'm going to show you guys how I actually do this, so you can apply the same technique into your images. How I actually change the color and the mood of my image.
Here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to address that. Meanwhile,
why did you choose to shoot? That's a very good question. So I can really do this image without using a flash. But the reason why I decided to, because in the overcast day, and the reason why I decided to use the flash is so that the subject stands out more. And it actually makes my editing a lot easier afterward. And I'll show you, if you stay tuned, I'll show you in the next image where I'm going to edit a photo, and I'm going to compare a photo without flash and a photo with flash, and you'll see how much easier it is to edit a photo with flash on.
Cool.
Cool.
Should we play it?
Yep.
Not that it makes it comfy.
I thought we damaged it.
No, I'm just kidding. Little as shit. No, I was only joking. Tree and wine with chocolate.
Just gonna get my axe out.
You bring one?
Ready?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, move away, Katerina. That's perfect.
What did you use in the backyard? Did you smoke?
So
You guys want to smoke electronic cigarettes there?
so I got this smoke can from a website called colorsmoke.com. I think it's in Sydney. Yeah, so you probably would have heard of that, maybe.
Yeah.
And I want to create. I'll show you the image later. What I've done with it. But I want to create some angel hair lights coming through the wood shelter, whatever you call that thing. We actually spent 10 days trying to build this for the shoot.
The setting
The shelter.
I'm using for this shot is still speed.
Oh, you built it yourself?
No, I'm kidding.
It is your backyard. Now admit it. So it took you 20 minutes to drive from your toilet to your backyard. Oh my, that's how big your mansion is.
But I also have a light.
No, it was actually there when we went to the forest.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, so that's the backlit, right?
The power on this is 1/1 full power. The reason why I have one at the back is so that I want some light to come through the hole under this shelter. And then what we've done is we spray some smoke at the back so that we'll get some smoke effect. So the smoke can.
Yeah, that's a smoke can there that we got from a Sydney company, Color Smoke.
Works like a charm.
Oh, it's so handy. I always have one of those in my bag for wedding day in case. Just handy to have.
Wow. Try putting your hand on your chin. Amazing. And hand at the back again. Chin down. Looking at me.
Yeah, I think she's trying to fix up the smoke can. We have we thought of a way to make the smoke can spray by itself by chucking it on the floor and damaging the tip.
Yeah, you'd better get some good shots. Otherwise, I don't know. Your designer will probably kill you, mate.
Yeah, I have to convince her to let me put her dress on the floor.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But I came prepared. I bought a sheet with me, so she's actually sitting on the sheet. So the dress is still kind of clean.
Yeah, keep on telling her that.
She might send me a bill later for dry cleaning.
Yeah. It's all right. Just sell one of your trees here or two. That will cover the dress.
Yeah. So I'll do a bit of variation here. I do some where the model's hand is in the front covering the dress and some where the model is not covering the dress. One version is more for me, one version is more for the designer where it shows off the dress more. And one version is more for my style.
What's 8400 doing here?
This is the photo.
Yeah.
And then you see what the light at the back does to the smoke. It just gives it that hair light coming through the hole. And that's the main reason why I put the light back there, to get that little hair light. So the setting for this was 160 f3.2 ISO 500.
Cool. Shall I show the raw image we've got? The image we've got?
Yep. Show you the.
And
actually, I'll do that from my. My side because I'll show the raw image in Photoshop and then I'll edit it.
Okay. Sure. All right. Should I remove that? Should I share your screen?
Yep, share my screen.
Okay. All right. So we are going to do some live editing with Ky. But before that, Ky, do you want to answer some questions
Yep,
from your fans?
yep. What questions?
Hello. Yeah. Hi, Simon. How are ya? Got to see your lovely face showing up again. So before, you guys can drop us a message. Wait. Just give me a sec, Ky. I'll drop a message in the group chat. For any questions, any question for future lighting demo, please send to. Okay, please send. Okay, just gonna check. Send your question to, and we will address those. Address those in future talk. It just goes so that people who misses the talk we will be able to answer the questions here.
Oh, so Christian, that one is from a smoke can. So yeah, when you press it, the smoke come out. When you don't, the smoke stops. But how long does the smoke can actually last? If that's what you mean, I don't know. I've used it on a lot of weddings, though, probably over 5 or 6 weddings, and the can still lasts. So I haven't really thought how much there is.
Yeah. So it's like people asking you how long does a battery last. Sometimes it's you know,
Kind
it's
of
very hard to
environment,
tell.
Yeah.
The 8200 one lasts forever. So yeah.
Why did I opt for an octa instead of a dip umbrella? Because I don't have a dip umbrella. That's probably why.
All right, my body is getting kicked. Good question. Good answer, Mike. All right.
Do you do some scoping out location and log them as idea for future shoot? So you just walk out your back. Yeah, a lot of my locations actually in my backyard, so I don't need to scout the location as much. No kidding. Depending on what the shoot is, if for this particular shoot the designer was after something particular, then I would go and look for some locations. For example, on a wedding shoot, I don't tend to go and look out for location as much, only because we are restricted by where the ceremony is, where the reception is, and I kind of like that more because I can be a lot more creative, and I don't bound myself to going to the same location all the time, because I hate going to the same location all the time. And that's how I can get the client, you know, a collection that's very unique.
I think John was referring to maybe the can lasts for 5.5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jonathan.
I think it sounds very particular. I'm not too sure.
How do you even know that?
I'm not too sure. Maybe he's keep on spraying for 5.5 minutes. Yeah. So should I add yours to the string?
Yep, add to the string.
Is that one?
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody see this okay? So this is my final image.
Sorry, do you want to answer this final questions before we go ahead?
What is that? Oh, have you put a bottle mount on an 8200, or are you using? Oh, the question's gone, Harry. What?
Sorry.
I'm using a Pacific 8300 one, that Pacific Godox one, for that one.
So if you want to put a for your answer, Simon, if you want to put a bowl mount modifier on 8300, you just need to buy the S2 type bracket. So that will help you to adapt the power mount, sort of adding power mount modifiers to the 8300 Pro Lite. Hi. Jonathan's like, I make it.
Oh,
yeah.
you are the mastermind behind it, Jonathan. Amazing.
Yeah.
I love your stuff, man.
Yeah, he's the color smoke man.
let me know when your white smoke come back in stock, buddy. I need some white smoke.
All right. So should I go ahead with editing? And guys, stay tuned. Leave your question here. We will answer all of those after Master Ky Luu's Photoshop session.
So guys, this is the photo without flash. Okay, to answer one of the question early on, why do I still use a flash on an overcast day? This is the reason why. With flash, without flash, with flash, the image just pops a lot more. The subject stands out a lot more, and it will make my editing a lot easier and faster as well. And I'll demonstrate what I mean in this.
So in a sense, that makes your image pop.
Mm-hmm.
Is the key factor. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look at her skin. Yeah, and
it's not just the image. It's more the subject I'm worried about. I'm worried about the subject. Don't pop enough, and my attention is drawn to somewhere else and not the subject. That's why I always use flash in my work, and it does make editing a lot easier, which I'll demonstrate later. One thing I regret is of not bringing on the day is my what do you call it, the barn door for the 8400 Pro. I left that at home. Otherwise, I could have easily fixed up this little blowing out highlight here, which annoys me because my eyes keep going to there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but it's still a beautiful image.
Yeah, with a barn door, I would have easily controlled the backlight a lot better. But and the other reason, if I didn't use the light, a flashlight at the back, my photo wouldn't have those angel hair light coming through the holes, as you can see in the no flash version. And with the flash version, you can see the angel hair light coming through here, and then through up here as well. And that really makes the image a bit more different, I feel. Yeah. So let's go ahead and try edit this. So this is the final version after I'm putting all my edit on, changing all the color. So that's the final, and this is the original version. So what I'd normally like to do is I like doing all my color and stuff through Photoshop and not through Lightroom, only because Photoshop gives me a greater flexibility. And with Lightroom, I always tend to go with presets. And I don't like, not that I don't like, I try to avoid using preset so that my image look a bit more unique and not the same as, other people's photo. And with using Photoshop, it'll give me greater control and creativity. So what I normally do to correct my to do my color grading and to make the photo a bit more interesting is I would add a solid color layer in here. So I would choose something like a purplish color in this case. I'll actually go in here and see the exact number and copy and paste that color in there so that we have the same exact color. So that's that one there. And then I would turn that into screen and then reduce the opacity a bit. If I'm on full, this looks, pretty ugly. And I'll just reduce it to where I feel is the best. In this case, something like this, I quite like. But one thing we have to be very careful shooting for a designer dress is so that we don't want to change too much of the dress color. So what I would normally do is I'll brush back the dress color in with whatever the original color is, so that it's not affected by my color filter. Is people seeing this okay? Is it a bit laggy or
Slightly, but it's fine.
fine?
It's
Cool.
fine.
So what I'm doing now is I'm just bringing back the original color of the dress a bit more, so that I don't distort the color of the dress, because the designer have chosen a specific fabric, a specific color, and it will be the worst nightmare if a photographer come and change the color too much. And then I want to bring back the skin tone of beautiful Isabella, because her natural skin tone is quite nice already. I don't want it to change too much. And that's what I'm doing. What I did a mask in case by pressing this button down here, did a mask and just painting back the skin color in the photo. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to make the image, at the moment the image looks a bit too pastel. So I want it to pop a little bit more. So I'll go in here and I want to add in some brightness and contrast. Everything I'm doing is very subtle. I'm gonna go 25 there and reduce the contrast a little bit more. So by doing this, my aim is always to bring the subject, which is the beautiful model Isabella, out from the background. So that's before and after, and I might add another filter in there to fix up the saturation and the color bit, the toning of the color. So I might just tone it down a little bit more. So this is what I've done with that just before. It's very subtle what I'm doing, but every little adjustment makes it perfect. But I want to emphasize that every adjustment I do is very little, so that it doesn't, so that if anything goes wrong, I can always make it more. But if I go overboard, it's hard to bring it back to normal. So again, original, coming back to this. Now, if just for example, if I were to, because this is usually my process, this is usually the process that I do for every single one of my photo. And if I apply that process to the one without flash, so this is the one without flash. If I apply the same process in there, see how no matter what I do, it just doesn't pop as much, the image. Even if I go in here and increase the contrast a little and brightness a little, I have to do a lot more work to get to where I want it to go. Compared
I think
to,
that pretty much answer. Yeah, I think that pretty much answer.
Does that make sense, guys?
Anka's question. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, perfect.
So I need to bring
makes
this
perfect sense, right?
So I need to bring this back. I just feel
yeah.
feel it makes my editing a lot faster. I need to spend less time on editing, which is always a
Yeah.
plus. Yeah.
Yeah. Occasionally, you might get one of good photos by natural lights when the lighting conditions perfect, but with
Yes.
artificial lights, you
Mm.
kind of get lots of flexibilities and create what you want. When you have a great location, you don't have to, in a sense, shoot for the lights because you
No.
can create your own lights. You can shoot for location, right?
Yeah.
Because this is a stunning location, but it's under shadow.
Yeah.
So for natural light photographer, it might be a waste, right? They wouldn't be able to shoot here. And I know you'll spend 10 days to build it here in your backyard. So you might just as well burn your lights over and do some creative lighting.
And you're
Here's
right. Yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah. If I may, here's a question from.
Could you please tell me what the best multi-purpose light shaper softbox doesn't look? Cause maximum couples doesn't look like beautiful, and we have to shoot lots of variation and just shoot. Cause maximum couple doesn't. Do you mean by you choose to use different shaper because there's different type of couples? Is that how you interpret it, Eric?
I think you just want if you want a multiple purpose light shaper, like umbrella softbox, if it's for 8300, just get a 86300, just get a 8085S or 8085W or 8065W. It's just 65 or 85 centimeters softbox. It can be work as beauty dish as well. And I think you might want to check those out. Or they have deep umbrella coming, I think announced today, which is great value as well. You can easily carry around. It also comes with the silver or white interior. You might want to check those out as well if you are not using 8300. So here's your answer. You can either go for the umbrella or the softbox.
You asked the multi-purpose shaper.
Yay.
Yeah.
I think that's probably his question. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
So this next shot that Aries put up is a shot more for the designer because it really shows off her dress. Whereas if you look back at my previous shot, the model's arm is covering most of the dress. So for a shoot like this, for a shoot where you're really showing off the dress, it's probably not one that the designer might choose. And this is probably a better one. Yeah, that's why I always do a bit of both.
Yeah, it's not like when we do photos, it's not like you have to make a choice, right? You can have both. It's easy.
Yeah, you can have both. Yeah. So this is another variation that Elvis put up. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing in this photo like that I can do to make it pop even more is what I'll do is I'm just going to collapse this now, and I'm going to duplicate the layer.
Should I share your screen?
Are you sharing my screen?
Should I?
Oh yes.
Okay. How about now?
Yep.
Okay.
So another step I can take to further enhance this image is to is putting in a HDR filter. So what I've done now is flatten the image. And then I'll duplicate the layer. And what I'm doing now is I'm going to apply HDR toning to it.
Yeah.
And this will make the image pop even more. See how the wood has so much detail now.
Yep.
Compared to this one. However, a lot of people online is probably going to go, oh, but her face look horrible. So to fix that is quite simple. So I'll get the original image, copy and paste that layer, and put it on top of this. And I'll mask this. And I'll only brush in the area where I want the detail to show. Obviously, in this case, it won't be her face. It will be all the lovely wood and stuff around her.
Cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's
for some we be the panel. So we
sorry,
can
I missed
see the
that
main
area.
window.
I got dropped that before.
Oh, with your Photoshop, we wouldn't be able to see your layers panel. We would be able to see the image. So just be mindful and slow down and explain every layer.
Oh, you can't see the layer. Oh, sorry guys.
we can't. We were not able to see the layer. So yeah, but it's fine. Just explain the workflow or explain your thinking behind it. I think it's more important to rather than seeing all the parameters of the layer.
Yeah. So for people that missed that, so what I've done in that step is to apply the concept of HDR in photos, and to avoid getting the HDR. What HDR does is bring out details of everything, but what it also does is it also makes the model's skin looks horrible, as you can see in here. And to avoid that, what we do is just do a layer, mask the layer, and then just brush in the detail and make sure we don't brush in the detail where the model is. Like if I brush in there, look, her face just goes ugly. So I can bring it back like this. So this is before, and this is after with the HDR toning. So you can see everything's a lot more sharper, a lot more three-dimensional. Yeah.
Cool. Almost like a mixture with texture and clarity and, and the dynamic range sort of.
That's correct.
Combination.
That's correct.
In your own way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I add back to the third image, BTS?
Yep. We can go to the third image.
Into the forest.
Oh man, that's your pet, Birdie.
Yeah, she's actually carrying the stand, my camera bag,
I heard the bird bag in the back. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You guys are hardcore. I don't know. By watching the people carrying that much stuff, that I feel like back pain.
Well, she wouldn't let me carry anything.
Yeah.
Don't forget, she's carrying the gear for the videographer as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Such a cool location.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your sandbag?
That's my sandbag.
Yeah. So guys, here's some tips. You don't have to carry sandbags with you. Just
I changed my lens to the Sony G Master 135 f1.8. The reason why I'm using such a zoom lens for this shot is I wanted everything in the background to be closer to the subject, and I can't achieve that with the 24-70 lens. The setting I'm starting off with this shot is speed, f5.4.
Oh my god.
And ISO 500.
Go to sleep, Betty.
The light, the 80-300.
That was my assistant slash wife carrying all the stuff.
And the speed power for this,
and she's complaining.
1/32. And let's go see what this looks like. 1, 2, 3, go. And one more time, guys. Chin up a bit more, Isabella. That's good. Can you guys pick up a bit more of the front of the dress as well? Because I want the front to be pushy as well.
So in case you guys didn't hear it in the video clearly, now I'm using the 135 GM 1.8 lens. And the reason why I'm doing this is so the tree in the background is compressed and closer to the model, so it looks bigger. If I use a wide angle, the model will look too tiny next to the tree, and I wanted to make the tree look even bigger and more dominant in the photo. That's the reason why I choose to use a zoom lens in this case.
Or you just have a $3,000 glasses. You want to show off?
Yeah.
For that too, yeah.
just more reason to buy new gear.
Yeah.
Actually, I could have done this without a 135, but I want my assistant to carry more stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Keep on talking, mate. Like, no one's going to save you after this Facebook Live session. So, yeah.
Can you hold it a bit higher this time, so there's more time for it to fly down? Yeah.
You are very tough, man. Go higher.
They enjoy it, Eric.
Sorry, wait,
and the designer. I'm still working the designer in the shop.
Yeah, you work them very hard.
No, I made them feel important, Eric. If they stand around, I don't feel important. Now they feel like they, contributed to the photo shoot.
You made them running like a ninja in Naruto. You know what that?
They don't need to run that far. I just didn't tell them, and they decided to run that far, so it's not my fault.
That's exactly what I'm referring to. You are a very mean boss.
So Betty, if you're still listening, next time you don't need to run that far because I'm on a 135 mil lens.
Oh man, I
Not a
don't
wide
know.
angle.
I have a heart attack listening to this. You are going to end ugly, my like.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a person.
Yeah. And then we get some yep. They're very nice. I've been waiting all this time down there until I finish before they cross.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there, guys, that's the photo. And what was the setting?
Oh, nice.
Sorry, Katerina. Yes, now I tell you.
Well, it's good. We call that what? High intensity exercises, high interval intensity exercises. Oh man,
it's good.
Ky
I'm
Luu,
giving you guys exercise. Not that you need it, but exercise is always good.
Yeah, you might just appear in the athlete news. Next day, you accidentally, smash your skull or something like those.
Don't give them idea, Eri.
Yeah, mate. Do you want to show your? Do you want to show your?
What was the setting on that again, Eri? Did I tell the audience what the setting was?
Oh, yeah. Can you see it?
The setting. Can you see it?
That's ISO 5. That's ISO 500. F.
I didn't even change my ISO.
Yeah, 1 out of 80 seconds. I think a good thing about Sony is that they have a very clean ISO between 100 to 640. That's my experience. So
I agree.
There's no difference.
And
Yeah.
because it was an overcast day, my setting, once I get my setting right in the first photo, pretty much over my very minor changes. If it was a really sunny day, then it would be a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you wanna show your end?
Yep. What image are we up to?
Up
to 3.
I think image 3.
Yep.
Do you want me to add yours to the screen? Before we go ahead, let's see if there's any questions. I don't think there's any, but if they do, let's just answer them.
Okay.
Let's just answer them. Is it necessary to use flash to bring subjects more highlighted all the time? Yeah, that's already been answered. So all good.
Oh,
All
good.
good. Yeah. So I
Okay,
will add.
This is another one. Original. See, Betty and Katerina, you guys are not running fast enough. Next time you run faster, I can still see your legs.
Oh.
Again.
Okay.
So this is without flash, and this is with flash. As you can see, there's still shadow. Even though it's an overcast day, there's still quite a lot of shadows in the model. Whereas with flash, you know, it's a lot cleaner. The image is already really clean. I don't have to spend too much time on editing. Like I don't have to do the skin, remove the shadow, all that kind of stuff. So all that extra step is like all taken off in camera, which is what I love. So I've done exactly the same thing. What I've done. So people can't see my layers. Is that right?
No, people can't see your layers.
Okay.
Do you? Yeah.
That's fine. So what I've done is what I want to do here.
You want to share your application, see if that would work? Like
okay.
going to the or share, maybe just share certain portion of the screen.
You mean screen dumper?
No, just when you go for share, right? Just share like certain area of the screen. Would that work?
Okay.
Like there's an advanced version.
Let me try that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Don't worry.
But what I can do is I can
yeah.
do a screen dump once I finish with all my layers and people can see.
Yeah. Or just explain, walk through each layer and tell us what you did quickly. And that would work too.
So I'm going to remove all my layers now, back to the original image. So the first thing I want to do is I want the at the moment I want the model to pop out even more. So a technique that I do is I put in an adjustment layer for exposure, and then I'll darken the whole image a little. Darken the image a little. And then by doing this, now I brush back in the model. I bring her back out so that she stands out from the background even more. This is all I'm doing. I added in an exposure layer. Now I'm bringing her, I put in a mask and then bringing her back out from the background. So that our focus is all on the model. So that's that bit. Next, now I go in and play with my colors. Again, I go to my adjustment layer and I choose solid color. And then the color I used was this one. I saved the color setting. And then again, I go screen under my filters, go into screen, and then reduce the opacity to give it that more mystical feel in the image. So what I'm doing here is very simple. It doesn't take me long at all.
If I may, I call that mystic Ky Luu purple.
Purple. so
time.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's very easy to do. Very quick to do. In this image, go like that, and then now I would crop the image so that I'll get rid of the designer and assistant's leg. Cool. And again, let's show you the difference between one without flash. This is one without flash. Yeah, just the skin tone won't be as nice without flash, and the dress won't pop as much.
Yeah, and the texture of the dress. Oh,
yeah, compared to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll do the same. I'll do what I like doing the most, HDR looking images. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to apply the HDR filter on there. But before I do that, I'm going to duplicate my layer so that I won't lose my original image. And now I'm going to put in my HDR toning. And straight away, you can see all the details popping out, which is what I love about HDR. There's heaps of detail. And then I'll just put my original layer on top of the HDR layer, do a mask, and then just paint in whatever detail I want to appear in my photo.
I think the way you do it, it actually works with your pre-production, with your lighting, and your post-production. I think you have your own style, and it almost like comes like a whole package, right? Because you always lead interesting rather than front flat lighting. You always lead your subjects from sideways.
Yeah.
You know, when we did something from sideways, that brings out the texture, right?
That's
so
correct.
even with the tree shots, I noticed in the previous shots, because you lead sort of from the side, like 45 or 60 degrees from sideways, that brings out the texture of the tree, of the woods. And then in the post-production, when you apply HDR, all of a sudden everything just pops out.
Everything just pops. And
yeah.
And again, if I don't use a flash, my image just wouldn't pop. And I always like my image to have that kind of HDR feel. That's why flash is very important to me.
So that's my advice. That's my advice to the audience here. Like, you don't have to lead exactly the way Ky Luu does. If you want to, of course, you're more than welcome to.
That's right.
But for everybody to develop your own style, it's almost a package. Come with lighting, as well as your post-production, right? Because you have to lead them in a way that to speaks or express your message, and then your post-production is just emphasize that, right? It's
Correct.
like there is a good French chef, there's a good Japanese chef, but with a Michelin star chef, you all needs to have a good piece of meat or salmon to cook to start with. That's good lighting. And then you add your own secret ingredients. That's your different workflow in your Photoshop.
That's correct.
One thing, but you have to start from the right foot. That's the image that's properly lit. That's where you want to start with. You can never cook a perfect salmon out of a stinky fish. That's just my personal epiphany here.
That's right. And this is just my personal style. I like my image to pop, whereas other people will probably like natural light, where the image is a bit more softer and airy and mystical, which is totally fine. Like I do photo without flash too. It really comes down to the feel that you want. Because Katarina's dress is really high end, very glamorous, and when I associate the word with glamorous, it's associated with lighting, with HDR toning. That's what I associate with And that's why I choose to use a lot of flash in her dress, because it really shows off how glamorous the dress really is, and it looks a lot more glamorous in real life. And I'm trying to extract that out.
And guys, I'm not going to tell you exact number Ky Luu's charge. Ky Luu is probably one of the most expensive wedding photographers in Adelaide, if not the most expensive one.
Don't say that. No one will ever book me.
I was shocked by Ky Luu's number. I said I want to move down to Adelaide, and then like he does a very great business. The way he distinguishes himself from the rest of the crowd, who does the light and airy Fuji, if I may, Fuji 400H look, light and airy and overexposed the background. That's the ice cream shots, right? Because that's almost people want it. You just give them, and you always have to have certain shots to speak your message. I'm not saying you shouldn't do natural light. You should, like, whenever it's suitable. When you're in a church, you are not supposed to use flash, or you have 30 seconds to get a couple hold kiss. Kiss like you mean it, done. Then of course use natural lights whenever. But if you want to have these shots that speak your voice on the social media and attract your customers to come to book you, then you probably want to offer them something more. That's just something I think Ky Luu does very well. Should I walk down to the image 4?
Yes. Let's go to image 4.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yep.
It looks like you are using ninjutsu attacking something from the ground.
So this is another one of my backyard.
Hakemachi no jinsu. Yeah.
But again, in this case, the background wasn't nice. But what I've noticed is this really beautiful grass at the bottom, which is really nice.
By the way,
which is amazing.
it's your favorite color going on here.
What? Oh, the purple.
Green? No, the green.
The green. Oh yes. You see the photos won't look green later on.
Yeah.
No, a bit more. Sorry.
It's a little bit lumpy.
Modern day Sleeping Beauty.
That's beautiful greenery.
And this one,
you keep the green, is that Eric?
I'll keep the green. I'm a big. Just to let you know, Hulk is one of my most favorite superheroes. I'm keeping the green.
Hulk.
I like Hulk, and I like I don't know. I like spinach. So
spinach. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's exactly what I mean. Different people, different tastes. So
Exactly.
which is totally fine.
but now,
that's why the world is colorful, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
It's good to be different.
and I'm going to try to shoot her in this angle. I still have the Godox 8300 on the top here, and the power setting I'm starting off this time is 1/32 power, still in manual mode, and my setting is speed 160, f5, and ISO 500. Let's see how we go with this one.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Head up.
Again, I could have done this photo without a flash, but then her skin will look very different. With the flash, it just gives her that beautiful glow in the skin, which is what I love.
I'll try the other hand position. One on the. Actually, just try to go here.
How nice is my backyard, Aries? You can hear bird chipping away.
Yeah,
So peaceful.
You can get up.
yeah.
Next time when you come, down to Adelaide, I'll set up a tent out there for you.
Yeah, I will work on work really for the next 50 years. Try to catch up with
So
you,
guys, this is the image
yeah.
we got of beautiful Isabella laying on the floor.
man.
And the setting for this is f5, speed 160, so 500.
Again, I didn't change my ISO. I left it the same because I didn't need it, because overcast day. I like in doing a commercial shoot like this, I always like to push my eyes, not my ISO, my aperture pretty high, because I really want the detail of the dress to come out. That's the reason why I do it like that.
Yeah, look at the amount of details.
So this is straight out of camera. Of what straight out of camera with the flash 8300 Pro. Again, what I've done later on is I don't like green, so I changed the green color. And I think in this case, personally, I feel it works well, because her dress is a bluish, purplish kind of a bit of that kind of look. So having the background that matches the color, the tone of the dress, in my opinion, I feel it brings out the dress even more. So Erin, you can go to the next image. I mean the edited version. So that's what my final image was. I actually I used the same technique as what I've done in the previous photos in Photoshop, and put in the color that I want, and then changing the grass in those colors. What I didn't change was the dirt. I left the dirt brown because I don't mind the color brown, but green is not my favorite. And I feel having a purple backgroundish, it really brings out the dress even more. It's, to me, it's all in one tone. And it's, for me, it's easy on the eye. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, if we don't have any question, we can move to the next image. I think there was a question about.
Quickly zoom in to show the guys details. Guys, check out the details here. For if because for live streaming, we might not have enough resolution for the details. Just quickly show them. Yeah.
But yeah, because she has I noticed her dress has Caterina's dress has a lot of nice beads and everything, and having a flash on top shining that through, it'll make the beads shine even more, which is fabulous. And if she's lying on the ground, don't you worry about the dress getting dirty. We do. That's why if we Eric, can we go back to the behind the scene video again?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So we do worry about the dress getting really dirty, especially such an expensive dress as well. Apparently, she tells me that color is the last of its kind, that particular lace. So that made me even more nervous on the shoot. I wish she told me earlier, otherwise I would have told her to lay on the floor. But if we go back to the video, you'll see that my assistant actually put down a sheet.
Sorry, I forgot to. Sorry,
yeah,
I was playing in the background. Yeah, here we go. Yep.
So you can see, Kristen, you can see that there's a sheet on the floor. So the trick there is we just let the model lay down, and then my assistant will go in and push the sheet under the dress so we can hide the dress. Anything that we can't hide, I can easily fix up in Photoshop later on. But my idea on the shoot is where I can fix stuff, I will fix it to limit my time on photoshopping, because where possible, I don't want to spend too much time on editing. I want to get the picture as perfect as I can in camera. Yeah. So this is what we've done there. So the dress was still fairly clean, I think, after that. Yeah.
Should I go for the next one?
Yeah. So we're gonna have a question. We can go to the next one.
Let me just see if anybody has questions. Nothing so far. So let's go to the next one. I think the video is very informational, so instructive.
We're to thank Tony for that, for his amazing work. So he's the videographer on the day that's in the background, doing everything. So in this shot, I wanted to show the dress in a bit more movement. I wanted the model to have a bit more fun. And I like doing stuff like this because it also helps relax the model on the day as well. And yeah. What softbox size do you typically use for weddings? On weddings day, I would I actually don't use a softbox on wedding day because we don't have time to set up softbox. But what I do bring with me, I bring with me the 80-300 and 2V1s, and that's what I use. Yeah. However, what I do also bring with me is a small soft fabric a diffuser, which is one of those ones that you just fold out quickly, and then if I want, I can put that in front of the light rather than putting a softbox on. Yeah, so that kind of softened the light a bit for me. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes the whole light almost like shoot through umbrella, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But with that diffuser, I can fold it up and put it in my pocket, or put it in my bag, rather than mucking around with too many tools. So what I'm doing here is I just want to show how big the dress is again, the bottom bit of the dress. So what I'm doing is just getting the designer again to help me hold the dress.
Okay.
My assistant wasn't here because my assistant went and tried to find us lunch in the forest because we didn't bring any lunch.
Yeah.
So you'll see her walking back with some pizza later in the background.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, you want good photo, you have to feed our model and the designer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wash it.
I would.
Look at little bugs. Oh, I'm going to show you something.
So in this shot, what I'm trying to get, the reason why I'm going so low is firstly, I'm trying to get a dress, but at the same time, finally, if you can see in the back, the sun is coming out, and I'm trying to get the sun in the background as well. So I'm trying to mix natural light with flash in here, and in the image you'll see how nice that will look when you have a bit of sun coming up on the background. It really makes the subject pops again. So if we stop there, Aries.
Yep.
And then if we bring up the raw image.
Okay, sure. That one?
Yep. So that's the raw image, guys. So you can see on her, is it what you call left hand? Yeah, left side. You can see a sun poking through the leaves there. Yeah, and I purposely positioned her there so that the sun is coming through from the side. It's like having an extra light, and that's really nice because it really makes it makes the subject pop. It's all about making the subject pop. And did I have
no flash?
No flash version?
Yep.
So this is the version with no flash. As you can see, with the sun coming from the back, if you don't have any flash, there's going to be a lot of shadow in her face, but more importantly on the dress. Like, as a designer, I will hate this because you're not showing off the detail of my dress. And the model will hate this too because you're not showing off my beautiful face. That's why that flash on the side is so important.
Yeah.
And then if we go to my edited image,
sure.
Please. And again, I took out all the green in the background.
I like the color palettes now. I think it works better than the green.
And
I think purposely corresponds with your dress. So
it's more cohesive. Yeah. and I've done on purpose. I try to match the tree color to the dress color, so it's a bit more cohesive. And with that pocket of orange, the sun coming from the left hand side, that just added that extra finishing touch to my photo.
Yeah.
Now,
Give
if
some
my
contrast, color palettes wise, right?
yeah, so it's me. So it's all about cohesive for me, and I feel like sometimes having the green there kind of throws out the color balance a bit in my eye. So for example, if the sun wasn't there, I would have put the AD 400 Pro there and put an orange gel there to mimic the sun to get a similar effect.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you want me to finish the rest of the video or?
Yep. Now we can go finish the rest of the video, which is for the next image.
Oh, sure.
Because we couldn't cut it out.
Yeah, I thought we were waiting for the pizza.
There, Betty's on the side there, coming out with a pizza. If you can see that.
Yeah, the pizza is coming. And more pizza is coming. Model is smiling.
Look how happy she is.
Whoa, that's quick.
Yeah, food.
Probably shouldn't even eat though, like my experience.
Yeah, as if.
My experience. I'm lost.
In my gown.
Right, just relax there for now.
Also, I don't want to wear a dress.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All good.
The designer is giving up.
That's very nice.
Man, you have to say it's really nice. Otherwise, you are not gonna make it back.
So
Back to your house
the power
safely.
on the flash was 1/8. All right, guys,
Yeah.
for this shot.
It's
And the
amazing with
setting-
1/8 you can.
It's overcast day though.
Yeah. No, I mean it's amazing with 1/8 you can still continuously bust.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And that's her with the dress that we got. That was a shot that I like.
I said to her, I just wanted to see how it feels to be on the ground with a fucking 50-kilo box here. And then this is her.
So if we bring out the image of the image 6 now.
Yep.
Aries, please.
Sure.
If we can please show the one with no flash.
Sure.
Thank you. So that's with no flash. So we got a beautiful glow in the background. And then the one with flash, which is the raw with flash.
Sure. Yeah.
That's with flash.
Her skin.
Yeah,
her
just
skin
glows.
glows.
Right?
Yeah.
And that dress just pops.
Yeah.
And then if we show my final image 6.
I think really shows 8300's forte is that even with such a small body, you can mount to a softbox easily, right? It's a Godox mount, so you can mount to a softbox.
You can,
which
easily.
which delivers a soft light to make her skin glows. Because if it's a hot shoe flash, in a sense, number one, it wouldn't recycle so fast. You wouldn't have this. You wouldn't be able to bust shoots, right? You wouldn't get this movement or sort of get 3 shots in one movement. Another thing is the light source is relatively small. Remember, the smaller the light source is, the harder, right? The light quality is. So yeah, I think that's really 8300 really helps in this particular shots.
It is, and for location, 8300 is so small. It's actually the size of my lens, size of one of my lens. And
it's similar to 2470 GM, right?
Similar, yeah. The height and everything similar, but it's just a little bit fatter than the 2470 GM. A little bit.
Very, very cute. I like it. Do you wanna quickly, just very quickly address the question? because I don't
How
want
are
to
you
turn this
changing the
into a
color
Photoshop class.
of the tree, please? Very simple. Andrew, do you see when I was in Photoshop doing the color grading? That's exactly what I was doing. So I can do it quickly with this photo just to show.
Do you want to add your?
Yep,
Your,
I'll bring it up soon.
Yep. I'll add. Should I add you to the stream?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yep. So I'll go into my adjustment layer, and this time I'll choose something called selective color, and I can select whatever color I want, pretty much to be. So in this case, I might go with a more of a yellow tone rather than purple tone. I think we've done enough purple today. And if I play around with that in Photoshop, you can see I'm slowly changing. Actually, let's go with not the yellow one. Right. The yellow one changes skin tone. Let's go into the green selective color. And then I can slowly see how that changes straight away. So that is in adjustment layer under selective color. And that is before, after. How I can fully change the feel of the image if I want to, very easily in Photoshop. Have that answer your question?
Cool.
Cool. So if we don't have any more questions, we can move on to the next image.
Sure. Cool. So we add 6. Let's move down to
7.
7. Yep. All right. BTS first.
Yes, please. BTS plus.
Cool.
Thank you. It's not showing on the screen, Aries.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Let me just quickly. Were you saying anything back there? Did you swearing about the weather?
I think it was starting to rain.
Oh gosh.
But it didn't. It didn't end up raining, which was good.
Oh man, the poor dress.
So we save this worst location for last.
Yeah.
In case we break the dress or dirty the dress.
Yeah, you can run.
We can run.
Run, Forrest, run.
So I'll let everyone watch the video first, and then I'll explain later, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Unless people have questions.
See, I can't even steal anything because I can't remember the bloody thing.
See what happens if you look away back there.
Am I in video? Okay, I'm just gonna
So Isabella, what we're going to do, we're going to do one of you sitting like this, one looking at me, one looking away, and then we're going to change get you to stand up. I think we look good standing. Do you think you're comfortable standing up?
Oh.
So this smoke I used was the black smoke. I wanted to get some white one, but it was out of stock.
Sorry, it's got in my eyes. Yeah.
Close your eyes, close your eyes.
Is this color smoke or is
It's a color smoke. It's a black smoke.
Oh, it's a black smoke. That's why.
Yeah, it's black smoke.
Kinda
Yeah, that's why it looks a bit. Yeah.
fancy.
Black and white is probably my favorite color. With the smoke.
I thought green. Oh, yeah, but okay.
They're green. Don't go there. The designer probably had better photo on the phone than me. I think she was on a better angle now thinking about it.
You got the flash. Don't worry.
Got a flash.
By the way, did I tell you they can you can use your mobile to trigger the flash too
Really? Wow.
with X2T
Oh,
trigger? Yeah,
I need to try that.
yeah.
So I'm here. I'm just changing the color gel.
Yep.
From memory, I think I'm putting an orange gel in. Oh, you can see in the when it flashes is a.
Why do you put 8400 there in the background?
Again, I wanted to make the subject pop. So in the photo later on, it would clearly demonstrate. It's going to be very subtle, but that little bit of subtleness is really what makes the photo stand out later.
Cool.
And because I'm using smoke in the background, I don't want her to blend too much into the smoke, or I don't want the people looking at the photo to concentrate too much on the smoke, because this shoot is all about the model and the dress. That's why I have that in the background. So the light at the back is so that was the photo with the orange light at the back.
No, it makes sense. Pockets of light, right? Pockets of sun shining through the wood. Beautiful. That's f.5.6, 1 out of 80, and
And
ISO
1/60.
40.
Yeah, with speed. Yeah. So if we bring up the, let me see which image.
The first
if
one?
we bring,
One,
the
two,
first version one. Yeah.
Okay.
So see that little so this one I didn't use the orange gel yet. I just put the 8400 at the back. But it's not actually the back, it's more to her side. So it's probably on her left shoulder. It's more towards that direction a bit. And that gives it that really nice rim light there on her face, down to her shoulder, down to her arm. And I really wanted that subtle light there so that she stands out that little bit more from the smoke. If that light wasn't there, I was scared that she might blend too much into all the smoke, and then people will not notice her as much. I still have the 8300 Pro on her right hand side, again at a more of slightly 45 degree. But this time with the softbox, I actually face a bit more higher into the sky, because I just wanted to feather a little bit into the top bit of her dress and her face. I didn't want the light hitting too much of the bottom bit, because in my opinion, the dress, the details is all around here and the upper body. That's why I moved the light slightly higher, just for that little bit of feather.
Yeah, I think the upper body is the really the forte of the dress, right?
Yeah. And I really want to show that off. And again, I for this one, I actually dialed down the color of the green, so it's still sort of a green color, but it's more of a dead green color. And I really wanted to show that she's in a the leaves are sort of like dead, and she's the life of the forest. That's my intention of the photo. everything else around her is dull compared to the dress and the model. That's the
Yeah,
concept I have.
Yeah, I think that works because
Mm.
all of a sudden the dress is the most saturated parts, right? Most colorful and vibrant parts in the image.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want any of the distraction, the bright green, any of the bright yellow, any of that kind of stuff to steal the attention away from the dress, and which is the main character in this shot. That's why I've chosen this kind of palette. Everything around her is a bit more of a toned down dead color, and then she's the only one that is alive.
Mm.
Mm. So we go to
second one,
version 2.
Yep.
This is another version. My favorite purple is coming back here again. Again, I want the back. I want the back of the leaves to sort of Andrew would love to see the leaves in a red color. I'll do that next time just for you, Andrew.
You are so nice.
Yeah. Again, I wanted the dress color and the leaves to be in the same color palette. Hence why I made that decision of going there. Yeah, the smoke did turn out amazing in this, Jonathan. It actually worked out perfectly. Yeah, and it's actually once the black smoke is actually, I realized after using black smoke today on when I did this shoot, it's actually really good because once the smoke clears out a little, it actually gives me a bit of a grayish white color anyway. So it's like, yeah, it's like two. You can get two type of colors in the one smoke bomb, which is kind of cool. Mm. Mm. Here, I still have. I don't know if people can see. I still have a light coming from her left hand side and her right hand side. So there's still two light going through.
Yep.
So that's why. But the light on the left hand side, which is the AD400 Pro, is slightly stronger in power. To show off that, to give a bit of a 3-dimensional on her face to make this side her side a bit darker.
Sorry, Ky Luu, for 1 second, I thought you want to punch on my face. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So it works out good there. And if we go to image 3, this is another different style that I've done.
I think with this particular image, like when you have a smoke going on in your image, the backlit or leads somewhere from behind the subject really brings out the depth, right, of the image. So you can see the further and the foreground is kind of fading away with subtlety, and she really pops out with a texture and her face. Oh, this is such a beautiful shot, and where smoke is, it's just great.
So again, this shot is more for the designer because I really wanted to show off the dress. So that's why the hand is positioned that way. The hand is away from the dress, still positioned in an elegant way, showing the dress from the neck all the way down to the feet. So when I choose my pose, again, I choose a pose that that has a purpose. What part of the dress I want to show off. So this is a full length photo. In other words, I'll prefer to show off the dress in full length. This is why that's there. Was there a question before, Iris?
No, it's just Andrew saying she can't wait to try her 300 Pro.
You won't regret it, Andrew.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Andrew. If you love red, maybe next time go on a shoot and try red. I think red is my kind of color too. So everybody have different sort of color palettes, right? This is Ky Luu's color palettes, and with
I like red too, but I do red in autumn, and then that way I don't have to Photoshop as much.
Yeah, I think nowadays photographers overemphasize on the Photoshop bit, but without realizing that as a professional photographer, we shoot, let's say, more than 1,000 images easily from a wedding shoot, right? And even with a style shoot like this, we have to deliver more than, let's say, 40, 50 images. You just don't have that time to to spend more than 10 minutes on each image. So a perfect lit image would make most of the sense, right? And it will be nice space, so you can quickly retouch and to bring out a good final product.
Yep, I agree. And again, that light on the side of her is very important because it gives me that really nice separation from the smoke. Again, that light is very crucial. So in a shot like this, that second light is just as important as the main light at the front.
Should we go for the last one?
Yep, we can go for the last one.
Awesome.
So the last one. So this is the one. Oh, Eric, can I please start off with the one with no flash?
Yep, sure. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I think I did the order in the other way around. So this is no flash, guys. See, it's still very nice. The image is still very nice. It gives us that really airy, soft kind of look. I don't mind this. But again, if I added the flash on the side, at the front side of 45 degree, and then the back with an orange gel, it's just, in my opinion, I just feel the model and the dress stands out a lot more. It just pops out a lot more. And the main thing is when I do my editing, it speeds up my processing. I don't have to do too much to the skin, any of that kind of stuff. Everything will be everything's pretty much 80% there. I just need to 20% touch up here and there, changing the tone of the color, changing the color of the leaf if I want to do that, that kind of stuff. So this is the final image. I still left the leaf kind of green, but again, I dialed down the green. I feel that bright green is too much.
Yeah.
So I dialed it right down, and then at the same time, I made the orange light in the background a bit more, a bit lower in intensity, not as harsh for this image. Again, if I want to play around with things, I can play around with things a bit. I can go into Photoshop.
Sure.
Let me go into. Have I shared it?
Sorry.
Can you see it?
Wait, give me a sec. I can't see it. Can I? Wait.
Oh, it's probably from my side. Sorry, Aries. I haven't shared the screen. Yep.
Gotcha. Give me 1 second. Here you go.
Perfect. So again, if I can always make this more mystical, like what I've done before. I can go into my color palette, go into solid color. Let's see what it looks like if I go a bit more of an autumn kind of feel in this image. Oh, that's very bloody. So I can make a bit more like angry and moodier if I want. And then all I do is bring the model back in. So that can be another variation if you want.
Yep.
And play around with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go back to, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so that's
That's the last image.
That's the last image.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Master, for your time.
No, thank you for having me, Master.
If this ends, I would like to, we would love to catch up and have a coffee. And thank you so much.
Whenever you're in Adelaide, buddy.
Yeah, guys, if you are around the Adelaide area and you are thinking of getting someone to do your wedding or commercial shots, Ky Luu is your man. All right.
Cool.
Jonathan, get in touch with Ky Luu with your color smoke. Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. And
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me, guys. See ya.